Sometimes it's really insane to think that I wanted to DIE and I was just going to shoot up, honestly, in a cornfield and let somebody find me. I'm making a really sentimental post for Instagram. Y'all, look at this. Okay, this was me when I was starting to like come out of the depression of being like, I'm still a baddie. Look at the beginning. Okay, that was the beginning too. I was having anxiety attacks when I was in the Marine Corps, when I got out, and I was taking pictures of my anxiety. This is when I started cutting my hair off, and then it got all the way to that. Look at this. That's not even doing it justice. This is me when I was still skinny. What? Like, you can see my fupa. Hold on. That's me when I was like, oh my gosh, let me figure out who I am. I've always wanted colored hair. Where is this picture? Look at that. Who is that person? And I remember that day. I saw some friends of mine there, and I was at a restaurant with my family. Oh my God, did I not want to talk to these people? I didn't even want to be in public. I was still, I don't want to say full-blown agoraphobic at this point, but I was really not enjoying going into public. Completely terrified that I would know people. Obviously, people knew that I was not doing well, but it was just like, it's the Midwest. So it's one of those things of like, we don't give a damn that you're not doing good. Instead of like being there for you, we're just going to talk shit and act like nothing happens when we see you. So yeah, that was not a good time in my life. And I'm going over PTSD with this and just disclosure in general of how it is when you disclose something very traumatic and people don't give a damn at all. It's a process, dude. I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful to still be here. And if anything, looking at these posts and looking at myself like, who the hell is that? Girl, I am so happy that I'm here. It just gives me motivation to keep doing what I'm doing, not only with Dark Diaries, but for advocating. Like, you should be opening your mouth and saying something when someone does something bad to you. It's horrible what happens. Look at society. Everyone's going to drag you down, which makes me want to do it more. I want to do it more. There's a lot of things in the criminal justice system that need to change, that need to at least be looked at for reform. And it's just absolutely insane what you can do to another person and no one gives a damn. You will look like the psycho person every single time. Something's wrong with you. You were just born messed up. That's just how you are. Oh, it could bring me to tears. I can't believe I literally cut off my hair. I had really long hair. This is still like pretty short for how I had it. And I just cut it all off. My mom begged me not to shave it. I wanted to shave it so bad. It would be to the point where I was so stressed out that I'd be rocking back and forth to soothe myself as a full-blown adult, because I had zero support, zero anybody to talk to. And those that I obviously did talk to, I drove away. It is a hell of a thing to have PTSD. And it's even worse, in my opinion, to be re-traumatized by it by the lack of support. And by everyone just looking at you as essentially you're crazy. I don't even have words. I'm trying not to cry. I'm looking at this like I don't even recognize who that is, but I am so damn proud of that girl in the past to make that decision to do this. I don't want to cry. Because she wanted to move on very badly. She really did want to shoot up and just let somebody find her in a cornfield. And she was brave enough to start putting her story out there because I really thought that I was going to be done. I really thought, and I was like, you know what? If I'm going to be done, I need to put something out there to at least like remember me by or get my story out there so people know in depth, you know, maybe there was something underneath the surface. Isn't that sad? Like, that's pretty sad that, like, I, on a whim, was just like, let me start doing social media for the third time just so people can see that there wasn't there was something wrong with me, but there wasn't. It was because of so much. Like, you can only mask for so long. Oh my gosh. It's just insane. Like, you should really watch how you judge people. And me studying forensic psychology, people would think, oh, well, you know, you probably have so much sympathy for them, for the people who do messed up things, you're crying. It's not that. It's the ability to turn off a switch and to look at someone and understand how they got there. That doesn't mean that someone is a good person because they murdered. Like, I'm not saying that. But due to the trauma that I've been through, and it's massive, y'all, like, at least to me, it allows me to look at things from a different perspective and an unbiased opinion, not only just to evaluate someone, but you don't know what that does to a person to be vindicated on what someone did was wrong. You have no idea what that does for a person's healing. And what I'm doing is not necessarily directly towards someone's healing, but when you're dealing with the criminal justice system and you evaluate someone and yeah, they did this because of blah blah blah, even if they get the time, bless her or whatever, because the criminal justice system in a lot of ways needs to be reformed, duh. But you don't know how families hearing that, like, yes, they did something and they did something because of this, it could help. It also may not in some ways, but some people it helps. It's just the way that life is. And it's just crazy because some parts of me want to be like, F you to everyone who turned a blind eye to me and just acted like whatever. But in other ways, God, I am so thankful. I truly believe that everything happens in life for a reason. This is my third time trying social media because every single time I've had post-traumatic growth. I have PTSD, pretty sure I have CPTSD instead, because I haven't disclosed everything to therapists, and I'm just now starting to do that in my life. And it's just, wow, it's eye-opening. I don't regret anything that's happened. I'm not, sitting here clapping my back like I'm so happy that, everything happened. I wish it didn't, but at the same time, I'm not living in the past anymore of like, this happened and no one's listening to me. It's more so of like, okay, this happened and no one listened to me. Now what do we do about it? And turning it into something positive for other people. And that's called post-traumatic growth. I was talking about that with my therapist a couple days ago. I go on Mondays, start the week off good. And it made me feel good for her to say that. Have I definitely crashed out in different ways and been a butthole? And yes, everybody has. Okay, I'm not taking myself off the hook for that, but at least I can admit it. And I'm very big on accountability on Dark Diaries and opening up a space for people to tell their truth and to talk about the dark parts of the psyche. You have a shadow self. Everyone does. You are a POS in some people's lives. That's okay. You probably were. I was in some people's lives. It takes a lesson to learn a lesson. I am so tired of people ignoring abuse, ignoring helping their friends. You're not a good person by being passive. You might be a good person on the inside, yes, but the behavior you're doing is not good. That's okay though. Learn from it. Stop ignoring yourself. Stop ignoring your shadow self and work through your emotion. Most people who go to therapy are literally the people who actually look at themselves. The people who don't go to therapy are 9 times out of the 10 the people who need it. I'm just very proud of that old version of me for having such a tremendous amount of pain and being like, you know what? F it. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. I have nothing else to lose. Literally.